Hey guys, welcome back to Vintage Vibes. It's Thursday night at 9 o'clock. I'm so excited. I finally got done with these Mary Poppins diaries. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, so these rings, I took off my recipe book because I had smaller ones. They weren't working. Then I put these, which I got to get more because I ordered some bigger than this because I didn't really like the way it's doing here. But when I got the bigger rings, and I waited all day for them to come in today, all day. Well, they're way too big. What do y'all think? So what do you think? What do you think? Which looks better to you? I am not digging the bigger rings as much because if you can see from the bottom, they're way too big. Do you see that? The difference to me is like, yeah, I like the smaller rings a little better, and I don't really care for alligator's mouths, but anyway, I made two, which we're not gonna go through both of them. No need in that. However, I am want to say thanks for coming to my channel. Welcome to my new subscribers. Thanks for all of my new crafty friends and my crafty friends I've had. I'm so excited, and we're pushing to that number. Hopefully it will be before Christmas when I hit 750 so I can send a happy out to somebody. But anyway, so we're going to talk about all the things that I used. Okay, and so let's jump in and get started. I love making these. Now, I may in the future make like a regular album with a spine. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to show you the papers that I used for these. Okay, I used some of this, but I've had a hard time. Echo Park is not putting this out anymore. I don't know if it's discontinued or what, but I got these at Tuesday morning, so I'm hoping that they'll bring these back, but I don't know if they ever will. Okay, so I used some of the smaller papers in there, and then I used a couple pages out of here for some things, so you'll see those throughout the diary. And this was the Paper Studio Floral on Hot Pink. Okay, and then I used, let me move that over, the 12 by 12, the Carta paper. And this does have texture. Some of the pieces I used did not have texture because it came out of the smaller paper pads too. So, but anyway, but this is the collection. It's called Practically Perfect. And I love using these. It's so pretty. So I used that. And then the ribbons that I used. And, well, I just dropped one on the floor, but that's okay. Okay, so these ribbons are used, come from various places. And this is one. This is like a Michael's Celebrate It, I do believe. I want to say that's probably from Michael's. It's really pretty. Okay, and then I used this one from Hobby Lobby. It's a pom-pom trim. Okay. And I got this one, I think, from Michael's. It's like a little yellow sheer, or it could be from Joann's. Honestly, I don't know. Okay. But it's real cute. And this is probably Michael's. Let's see, Celebrate. Yeah, it's probably Michael's, because this one I know pretty much, I think, come from Michael's. This is real pretty. Actually, I do believe. I think that's part of their line, isn't it? Maybe. Okay, and then this red dot. It come out of a long tube with the different dot colors. So that's where this come from. So I can't really remember if I got it from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I can't really claim that. So, but it's because I've had these for a minute. I got tons of different colors. Okay, this is really pretty. This was at Hobby Lobby, and I love it. And I had to cut it in half to use it because it was way too thick. So I just cut it in half and I used a couple of pieces, but it's so pretty, y'all. It's so pretty. It's pretty ribbon. Okay. And then I used this pink one with the dots that come off of a different colored, like springy colored one. So it's pretty. And then I used this one from Hobby Lobby. It's the Venice lace trim in white. So that one's pretty. And then I used this one too from Hobby Lobby. Okay. This trim here, and I didn't bring it in here with me. I thought I had it with me, but I guess I left it in the other room. Or is this it? Is this it? Maybe this is it. This is it right here. Okay. So this was a 212. It was that clearance time section. And that's the bigger Venice lace trim type stuff here. So yeah, really pretty trim. Okay, so and that's what I used for that. Okay, so let's get started with the trim. Okay, and I've got this. Some's from the sticker sheet from the collection. Some I punched out with my butterfly punches from the paper. These were jimmies that I had in my stash, and these hearts. And this and other things you're going to see throughout here is from a digital kit that I got from Etsy. I'm not sure if that's still available or not, but if it is, I'm going to link it down below. These are Prima flowers I've had in my stash for a while. Okay, this is a cut apart from the sheet. But it's really cute just to look at all the little details on there. I just love it, y'all. Now, this is chipboard hardback cover, and they are measuring 6 by 6. I am pretty sure. Yes, the chipboard is 6 by 6. And so that's exactly what that is. And this is the front, and then when you open it up, oh my goodness, it is so stinking darling. This is from the digital. Okay, this is a, let me just bring it all out so y'all can see everything. This is a little coloring sheet that I made from a picture that I had. And I just made it, shrunk it down, and I just made it like that. Put some cardstock, some lavender on the back of it. It's like a 4 by 6 size. Whatever is close to 4 by, well, that's 5 3/4 long. And then this is cut at 3 7/8. No, 3 and, Lord, I can't even see that ruler, y'all. Oh my gosh, let's do this other one. Let's see. That ain't making sense, is it? Okay, that is 3 7/8. Okay, that looks right. That didn't look right. 3 7/8 wide by 5 and now that's 5 and about 5/8 long, so that's kind of strange. But anyway, but the picture itself was like 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. It's kind of what depends on your printer with that piece. So, but there's a pocket. And I put some of the grommets on there. I don't know if y'all noticed those, but those were some I had in my stash. And I put these reinforcers with my hole punch. And just the little stickers and the paper. Now my paper, I cut this. When I wrap my other colored paper around that piece of chipboard is 6 by 6. I cut these at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay. So that's what that is. When you get this yellow, your cardstock paper, whatever color you're going to put, as you wrap it around, you just cut your other pieces at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay. All right. So those are measurements. Okay. Now, and then I put these cute little journal cards. These were in the paper, and they're really pretty. Okay. So I put them in there, and then I made these two come from the digital kit, and I put some of that little twine from Ollie's on it. but they can just journal on those. Now these were kind of flimsy, so I put some colored paper on the back of that cardstock. Okay, so those are really cute. These are from the collection. Okay, so cute. Mary Poppins. I just love that. Now, I made this little pocket. Okay, and this is a single, like you do, pattern paper, and this is measuring at 3 3/4 wide by 5 3/4 long. Okay, in both sides. Okay, and I got this little heart paper clip, and this has come from this collection. All right, and then this is holding on another journal card that comes from the collection. This side of the paper is part of the paper in the pack, and I just cut it like that to make it fit and make it a pocket. I just love the way that looked. Okay, and also I made a booklet, and I put this little paper clip on here. Okay, and this is part in the paper, and I didn't want this because this is that Cartabella paper, and if you put this on here, it might rip it with this paper thing. So I just took a piece of scrap that I had that I thought was really cute, and I just put it on there, and that's kind of holds it together like your own little, thing to hold it. I made a little journal out of this piece of paper, and I had this paper. Now this paper here is in another book that I've had from Hobby Lobby. It was like one of the vintage collections or something, I remember, but it's not over here. But anyway, I put that in there. But this little booklet is measuring 6 inches wide by right at 4 inches long. So I thought that was real good. And of course you could just cut your little paper, and I put 1, 2, I just put like 4 pieces of copy paper, and then I put this little paper here in the middle and just stapled it in. So I thought that was really, really cute. Either way, it don't matter how that goes on there. And I just put this back on here to kind of help pull it out in and out of that pocket right there. Okay, so this little pocket serves for this little journal or whatever else they want to put in it. Okay, now let's move on to this side. Okay, and then I guess y'all seen that pretty striped paper that was inside of there. The pretty blue stripe. And then they got, I made a pocket, and this is a pretty teacup paper. That's part of the collection. And then I made a pocket that's off of one of the pieces in the collection. And it's got like the whole sheet of this stuff. And it measures 4 1/2 by 3 5/8. Now if I had to go back, I don't normally, and I'm trying to keep it flat as possible to keep it from raising up, but if I ever go back and make it on like a regular journal, like a regular album style with the hinges, I will probably make this with a 1/2 inch turn under, because this paper is pretty thick. This Cartabella paper is so thick, and it's really hard to get it to give, if you know what I mean. Okay, so this was part of the digital kit. I made a pocket, notched it. This paper is so pretty, y'all. Remember, 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Your chipboard is 6 inches. You take your other piece, and you cut it 8 by 8, and then you pull it in, and you do it like you would be covering a piece of chipboard, and you just put your pattern paper over it. Now, and I also reinforce holes. I always put my hole punch reinforcers. I always punch those out and put them, because I don't like that ugly back and showing. But now this one had a little lip, but I just don't care for that. But anyway, I made this was like a longer strip, and it had like a tail on the end. And I just cut it out, put that so it could be a little journal spot. I thought that was so cute. This is part of the digital kit. These were in there. It's so sweet, y'all. And I put some yellow on the back of these. Now I had to cut them down to make them fit in this pocket, okay? But they're so cute, and it's tight. It's taking a minute to do a little give, and you don't want to pull on it because it'll rip it. But you just have to kind of be careful. And I probably could have punched a little hole, made this like a little bookmark, but we're just gonna leave it like that for now. I'm not gonna fool with that. Okay, and then you turn the page. And you got this little pocket here, and it measures 5 3/4 wide by is that 2 3/4 long? Yes, 2 3/4. So that's really pretty. And I had this little sticker. Now in my other one I had the only difference is this sticker is different because I had enough, but I just wasn't paying attention. But it doesn't matter, they both work fine. I put beautiful on this one, and that's on the sticker sheet too. So either one, it works. It does not matter about any of that. So that is just a preference, you know. Okay, so but that's that. And here's some more cut aparts and digitals, and then I put that pretty little song sheet paper that was in the collection. And there's this little postcard, and I cut it down and rounded the edges. I always make sure I try to round edges when I put them in things because it keeps the corners from bending. Here's a couple other journal cards. London Bridges falling down, and I'm a little teapot. So cute, y'all. I just love that. And then here's some more. That was part of the digital kit. Let's Go Fly a Kite, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And I put some different color paper on the back of those two. Okay, and notched my. Now I did a little circle punch notch here on that one. Okay. And this is an envelope punch, and then that was a circle punch. Okay, making sure. All right, and then I put this little striped paper, and this is Chim Chim Marie. This was part of the digital kit collection that I ordered on Etsy. And this is a piece of that trim that I used right here, the vintage lace. Okay, and then this opens up. This has a little magnet right there. Okay, and I put this little card. It's like part of the kit, and this was in the kit. I had to fussy cut that, and this was in there too. And I made this little flip up right here out of the paper. And I hope y'all can, I don't know if this is doing this justice or not. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can kind of see how it looks when it's open. Okay, so let's start in the middle. Okay, and this is a pocket. And I didn't notch it because it was so cute. I didn't want to mess it up. But this little pocket here is 4 1/4 wide. And it is 2 1/8 inches long. That's what it's coming out to after I cut it. And then this middle piece is cut. This is like the middle thing here. So it's just a 12 by 12, I do believe. Well, actually, that is 11 inches cut down. Okay. So this is, yeah, and I think I probably turned it sideways, and I could have turned it up where those weren't upside down. I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Now this is just sitting on top of this striped paper, and I'm going to try to get a good measurement from it. Let's see. 4 1/4 by, let's see exactly how long. This is 11 1/8 inches long, I do believe. Yep, 11 1/8, and then I scored it at 2, let's see, is that 2 3/4? Let me see down here. So this is 2 3/4, so 2 3/4 and then 2 3/4. Okay, All right, so that would make sense because, yeah, so that is 4 1/4, or, you know, that's big enough because you got to have room for your rings. And I think next time I may move this over a little bit. I'm kind of thinking that's too far in. Okay. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. But this is some more of things from the kit. Okay. And I put that pretty little paper on the middle. Okay, to cover up the upside down paper that is under there, but that's okay. So these were part of the digital kit. Okay, and I fussy cut them out. This one wasn't too bad, so he kind of went in there. Okay, and then you got your little umbrella. That was really cute. And then this one says Spit Spot. That was so cute. Yeah, I was trying not to make it too thick. And then that was really cute, the little measuring tape. And you got this one. Now this one was kind of flimsy at the top of this, and I didn't want it to get torn up, so I put a piece of yellow and just fussy cut back around it. And I'm still kind of worried about the neck, but... And then you got this little ticket that was in the collection. So I put that in there. Okay, now let's look at the bottom right here piece. Now this little pocket down here measures 4, I want to say that's 2 inches. Yes, 4 by 2, and I just did a little round punch. Take this little booklet out and you'll be able to see it's like a little punch. Okay, and I could have turned, because this paper, it's so busy, I could have turned it the other way, and I don't think it would have mattered, because that way that wouldn't have been upside down, but it's okay, it's fine. But here's a little booklet that I made. This was part of the digital. This was the paper, the other paper out of that I was talking about. And this little booklet is got some of this little stickers, and that's that little paper from the other Hobby Lobby piece. It come from the other collection, I think. Then I just put couple sheets of I put a copy paper. Let's see, this sheet, and then it was a copy. Is it 2 pieces of copy paper, and then this little yellow piece that come from the collection. I just kind of folded them in half, and then I put on the back of here, "Let's Go Fly Kite," and that little teacup sticker. And that was so cute. And this little booklet measures 4.5 by 2 inches, because I wanted it to fit in this pocket down here without interfering with you know, closing. And then this was a fussy cut piece, and I put the magnet under here. Okay, and then when you pull it back up here, I'll make sure y'all can see the top. Okay, I put the little magnet here, and I put the little sticker over that magnet. It's so cute. Because I didn't think to put the magnet inside of that before I stuck it on. But that's okay, because I put this little piece over this little flap. Yeah, so I kind of made sure, but I put another piece of that paper. Okay. So anyway, and that's that little card. I just put it on the back of that. So, but that was the sticker that was in, and then this is another little pocket that measures 4 1/4, and I think this pocket is maybe a little long. Is it 2? It might be 2. I'm sorry. Yep, it's 2 inches. And I put a little circle punch, and then I put another little ticket with some yellow on it. And I put another little booklet, and that was, you know, like I said, from the sticker book. And this was part of the digital kit. This was part of the paper. And this little booklet here, it just has 4 sheets of copy paper. Okay, and then this one measures, let's go ahead and measure it in case y'all want to make one. 4.5, and don't get discouraged, because it takes a minute to make these, by 2 1/8. Now, I'll talk about my other one, how I let the girl, they were 25, and how I let the girl have it for 20. Well, none of this digital things that you see was in that book whatsoever. It was just a little more plainer than this one. It had all the same pages, but this was different. This had like a tie. It didn't have all these things. And it had some pockets, but they were different than it. And so some of the things was a little different. It didn't have all these tags. It just had journal cards. And so, yeah, it was not as detailed as this one. So I'm pretty sure these are probably going to be more money. Okay. All right. Now, when we turn the page, after all that's done, it's really cute. Okay. This is in the little 6x6 pad on the Practically Perfect paper. And this is a Tim Holtz die, this little frame right here. Now I'm going to tell y'all, I doubled this, and this is so thick. So thick. And this is part of the sticker sheet, or maybe it was part of the either sticker or the digital collection. I'm not sure. But anyway, so it was really thick, and I really had to work it after I let it stay down for a while. But I glued the top and just through here, like just around. I didn't glue anything else down. Okay, to make little pockets. Okay, so on this one here, I got this little ticket. Okay, and it was in the digital kit. This little ticket was in the digital kit. Okay, this was in the digital kit. All right, really cute and sweet and adorable. I just love it. Today or Never, this was in the digital kit. Okay, and this was in the digital kit. Okay, and it had the same little stuff at the bottom, and I just did it like that. Okay, so this is very thick. So I was kind of flimsy. Then I put two, but I should have put like just regular cardstock behind it to make it not be as thick. But I think I used regular paper, this thick paper, and it's really thick. But it's working its way. I think over time, but it'll be fine. But then you just go back in that first one, and then you put a little something there. And then I just put that one in there. And then I put that one in there. It's a little thick. It's getting a little thick. And then I put that one in there. Yeah, it's getting thick. But anyway, but it turned out really, really cute. I just love it. Okay. And this little popcorn box bucket was at Dollar Tree. Now, I've noticed they have bigger ones. These I bought about 3 or 4 years ago. And if you notice, I put different eyelets too. I didn't point that out, but different color eyelets on each page. This is like a lavender, like a dark, deep purple too. So I didn't know if y'all had noticed. This is black. And then there's the silver little flowers on the front. And then you got different little reinforced hole things, punchers on that. So that's what I did with that. But this is from the collection. It feels like a piece of glue, y'all. That ain't always good. You got to get that. Okay, that come off without tearing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what I did with this, I cut out like part of the bottom of the box. And then I took a piece of scrap that I had and wrapped it around the bottom to cut it because it was so thick. And that way I just wrapped it around the bottom to close off like the pocket. And I put that same sticker piece that come off the sticker sheet on there. And I put this little sticker, okay. And then on the back I put this sticker, okay, and the different little reinforced holes, okay. And these are bookmarks that are so sweet. And I had to double cut these because this paper's pretty thick, but I put these little eyelets that I had in my stash, these ribbons, on there. Really pretty. And that is the ones I showed you. And then there's the backs of that. This is the paper on the back that's actually on the back of these, but I just had to cut 2 strips to make it thicker. But those turned out really pretty. I love those. And it just goes down in here. It's like a little, it's like the little box, you know, and it has like a little pocket. So, you know, they got room to put a little note or something too, or whatever they want to put down in there, whoever gets this. So it's really pretty. And then you got this page across from this page. And there's a sticker, and this is a story that makes a pocket that is part of the 6x6. And it's I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to get these again. That's what's going to be heartbreaking if I can't get this again. But anyway, it wraps around the page, and it has the whole story that goes with it. I didn't want to, you know, mess it up, so I just kind of let it wrap around it. And then in here is some more cut aparts. Okay, and then I'll put that sticker. And these are some more little journaling cards that was part of the collection. This is Time Together. It's such a sweet treat. And here's another little tag that was in there. I put some cardstock on the back of that. It says, "Let's go fly a kite, Mary Poppins." And these are so precious. And then I turned it over this way, and I put this book paper that was in the collection on the back. And I didn't want to notch because I didn't want to take away from the story. And here's some more cute little journal cards. They can journal on the back of those. It says, "Dare to Lose Yourself," and the little books. Okay, and then it has, this is Medicine, Just a Spoonful of Sugar. And this was in the digital kit. Okay. And then I put, what color was those? Silver on that page. Yeah, and then those pink little hearts I had in my stash there. I'm always trying to make sure that I show y'all what I put. Okay. And then I made another little pocket page, but I didn't like make it into a side pocket. But it has like the same measurement. Let's see, I think it is 4 by 5 3/4. And these were meant to be like a shaker thing, but I didn't put it in this because I wanted to put it like this. And this is also has a sticker that says Wondrous, and I got to go back and put it because yeah, because this is on here and I just didn't add it. But I do remember I have to go back and put that Wondrous on that sticker. I've got to go pull that sticker sheet out and yonder and do it. So, and then I had these little cute little bows that's already made in my stash. These little velvet bows that I had got from Joann's a while back before they closed. And I made this little bingo card. It was in the digital kit, and I made it into a pocket. And this is another little booklet, and I put a sticker on it that I made. And it has, I think, 4 pieces of paper and just stapled in. Let's see, is that 3 or 4? 4 seems to be the magic number, and I was trying to keep it from getting so thick, because you know me, I'm extra. 4.5 by 4, so 4.5 wide by 4 inches long. And I just put that little paper clip on there and put it back down in there so it's easy to pull out. And I'm gonna go back and add that Wondrous red sticker on there. And then when you flip it, I put this little pocket on here, and actually I scored it and pulled it around, and then I rounded the corners here. And then I had, this was in the digital kit, this red Mary Poppins thing right here, and then I added this little sticker. So yeah, so basically I cut this, y'all. Actually, is that the 6/4? Let's see what it is. So it's actually 5 3/4, 5 5/8 wide. Okay, so that actually turned out to be 5 5/8 wide. So that's 4, and then 5 5/8, and then you round the corners. Okay, so don't let me tell you wrong. And then that's 5 3/4. Okay, and then I just left that straight, and I rounded those corners to match those corners. And then I put this little butterfly paper clip that I had to kind of help pull that out. That's some little cute bird paper that went on the inside of this striped paper. I just kind of put it, and then I flipped it over. So it's really cute. Okay. And this little butterfly paper clip, I got a bunch of those from Joann's. And that's a little journal card that was part of the collection. This is part of the little digital kit. Okay, and I had to cut it to kind of get it to fit in there. But I just kind of left it white. Okay. And put that in there. It's so cute. That's so sweet. I love these books, y'all. They're so precious. And then this, okay, so let's take out this little booklet and this little thing, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So this was some, if you notice, I used different cardstock colors. This was like a purple, and this is part of the collection, the stickers, sheets here. This is part of the digital stickers. This pocket is part of the digital, and I had to make sure this wouldn't be so thick where that would punch through and let the grommet. So I had to, inside, I had to cut out a piece and let that be flat. And I just left a little tiny piece to go in before the grommet, because I wanted to make sure. Now this one is a raised up pocket. Okay, this is like the half inch. And then this is like another pocket that I made into this piece, because this piece had this little cutout heel, and I actually took a piece of paper and I put it inside of that and made it. I definitely did that. And I made this, yeah, so I put these little stickers on this side pieces here. Yeah, so it was something else. So if you can look down in there, you know, see how I just put a pocket, just made a flat pocket. But I put that piece of paper all the way up to it, okay? And I made sure that it went all the way up, and then I just come back and I fussy cut it out around it. Okay, does that make sense? So, in that way, so you can tell how that's kind of like that. Now, I made this one a flat pocket. It don't have the, I don't think it has the turn ins. It does not. Okay, so and I just put this here and here. It turned out a lot easier, and I just put it on first. You know, made like a regular pocket, and then put it on there first, and then this went over the top of that. So these are part of the digitals, and I just put that down in there a little bit longer to make it, and I think that was cut about from the bottom up, it's about 3 inches long, and however wide this piece is, it's about 5 3/8 wide. So that's what you would do for that. And it turned out really cute. Okay, and then this was in the digital kit. Now it's a little envelope. Okay, and I cut it out and I made the little envelope, but I stuck the top flap. If y'all can see down in there, you see how that is? I just kind of pushed it in because I just wanted to keep it that way. And then I made, this was in the digital, the little suitcase, and I had these handles were sticking up. Well, by the time I got them cut out, they were a mess, and I had to go back and just cut them off and cut out the middles. And I ended up just putting it on here like this, these handles, because they were just going to be a mess trying to get it in and out of here. So I just made a booklet out of this little suitcase. Y'all, I put that little sticker, and I had, this was part of the paper scrap I had. And I put a couple pieces of, 3 pieces of, or 4. Did I do 3 or 4? Let's say 3. 3 pieces of copy paper, just like a little journal, and that little cute paper from that collection from Hobby Lobby in the middle, piece of scrap. And then I put that cute little cupcake. Made a little booklet. Isn't that adorable? I love it. So it just sits back down in there, and you just kind of hold it out when you want to put it so this doesn't get caught. And it's so sweet. And it goes here in this top pocket. And then I made this cute little booklet. It says, have courage and always be kind. And this was from that paper that I showed you, that paper pad, that pink one from Hobby Lobby. I thought that was so sweet. And I had this paper clip too in my stash from Joann's. It was like a bunch in a pack. 3 or 4, I think it had 4 colors or something. And I made this little journal, and it says, let's go fly the kite, digital, 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 sticker sheet, sticker sheet, sticker sheet. And you're never fully dressed without a smile. That is so cute. And then I put 1, 2, 3 pieces of copy paper, and then this was part of the paper from the 6x6. I didn't have the heart to cut that on that. I thought that was so precious. It says London on that side, and then it's just the examiner, and I just put it in the middle like that. Okay, and I made some little pockets, and I left one side open because, like I said, this is very thick paper. And so I cut these at 2.5 by 2 inches, and then I envelope punched, and then I rounded the edges on this corner only, and I just put glue here and here, and I rounded the corner here, and I put a little bit of wet glue here and here, art glitter glue, envelope punched. And this says you can't lose what you never lost. Okay, so y'all are not seeing that very well. Okay, I hope y'all seen that. Yeah, and you know, glue here and here, in case you didn't see, I may have had it sticking up too far. And then glue here and here, and around the corner here, envelope punch, and then here's the top of the booklet. Okay, this was part of the digital. Okay. And then this was paper that I had gotten from Joann's, you know, those little shopping list things that they had in those bins that were so cute. Okay, and I just folded it over and stuck a little sheets of paper in there, and then I put a little pink one over here, like a journal, write notes, whatever, on that side. Okay, and then on the back sheet I put this little book, and this is from the sticker sheet, digital kit. It said it's a cover, it's not the book, so open it up and take a look. There's the whole world at your feet. So precious, y'all. And so, anyway, let's give you measurements. In case you ever get a hold of this paper, you might want to make some. 6 inches by 5 7/8. Wait, let's open this piece. Yes, 5 3. Well, okay, that's 5 3/4, but I cut this a little bit longer, this little piece, because I already had it cut. It's kind of like the story. I didn't want to cut anything off, is why. So that one ended up being a little bit longer, but that's perfectly fine. So that was really precious, y'all. I just love that. So I hope I can give y'all the middle. Let me try that again. 6, right? I just folded it in half. Okay. So making sure, Lord, grandma brain. So I put that back on there, put that in the bottom pocket, and there, I put the grommets on this one now on the outside, because this is your inside piece. So I just put those little reinforced holes right there, and I put those little flowered eyelets that I had, grommets, whatever you want to call them. I put this sweet little sticker and this paper here on the back, and they're all hard covers. Every one of them have chipboard. Okay, so that is the Mary Poppins Diary, okay? So do y'all agree with me that the rings are okay this size? Because I think the other ones don't look right. I think they're way too wide. I mean, you can kind of tell the difference. I don't really like them being that wide. I think this is better. So this is what I waited on all day. However, I got to order some of those. So all I have to do is change out take all of this off. I'm hoping I can just slide it off and slide the ring through it and don't have to untie it. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen because I think this ring is bigger around than this one maybe. I don't know. Anything would be easier. But anyway, so y'all go pick up some paper and try to make some. And it is very time consuming. But you just have to like mass produce, like just lay everything out and do it. But now it took me a while because I changed this totally up from the first time I ever made it, like from the front, because before I just had a few little butterflies with some jimmies. None of this was on here, you know, things like this, and it was just this card and a couple of jimmies, so it's just kind of more plain one. But I just wanted to really make good use of all the stuff that I had, the sticker sheet and all the things. So I thought it was really pretty. It turned out really, really, really nice. And y'all tell me what you think down below. As far as pricing goes, I'm gonna really have to pray hard about that. Because it took a minute. It's gonna be more than the 25. I'm leaning more toward with all the stuff and all the things and, you know, all the detail and all the booklets and all the things that I had to make and cut out and everything. I'm probably gonna either sell it about $40. I'm thinking. I think that's a fair price. It's probably a little bit too low, but I like to do things and make things for people to enjoy, not to break their bank. And you know, so we'll see what happens with that. You know, I am pretty sure I have a lady that I'm pretty sure is going to grab this as soon as she sees it at the craft fair. But hopefully next year, if I get enough time under my belt, which I'm praying, I'm going to start selling things on probably on my YouTube channel. I don't know about Etsy. I'm not real sure with that, but I do have a square. Like, that's what I use at my craft fairs. And it's a square card, and I can make invoices, and I can email invoices and do it like that too, and then put the stuff in the mail, you know, type thing. So but yeah, I have a lot of things I'm going to be doing and making, you know, throughout the year. I've got like a plan in place. With Jaden having all his surgeries and things this year, I kind of just didn't want to really jump into like committing to doing that or working all day long, because I've had to take care of him, all the things. So now I'm in a position to where I can kind of work more hours too. So if that makes any sense. So but anyway, but yeah, but just get you some paper. And I forgot to mention this really fast, because I know this video is probably getting long. Is it getting long? Oh yeah. I put these little on this sticker right here. It looked kind of plain and it was white around the edges, and I didn't want to fussy cut that off. So I put pops of color, and it was like a silver that I had. It's like a pops of color, like the little glitter glue stuff that I got from scrapbook.com. Yes, so that's what that glittery stuff is on there. It turned out really cute. So leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And now I'm gonna be able to get back on here with that little bitty Ollie's little haul that I got the other day. Tomorrow I'll probably do that, because we got to go early in the morning. Jane has a dental appointment because one of his little brackets or whatever that sits on top of the tooth, or brace part or whatever, the little cutter piece, popped off. It didn't come completely off, but it's loose, like it's come loose from it. So they got 8 o'clock in the morning, want us to be out there so they can fix it. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But anyway, so y'all have a good night. I pray you have an awesome Friday. And just remember that I love you, but God loves you more. Bye, guys. See you soon. Thanks for watching.